Hello, everybody. So I felt the urge to connect today with my voice because when I do these things, I have headphones and I have a microphone and I can actually listen to myself. It's one of the most beautiful relationships I have with myself is to just listen and edit it to what is arising in me. And so to give you some premise, a couple of things, I'm going to set up the stage so you know why and how I'm talking about this. So I'm in Miami Beach and it's been very gloomy for the last weeks. It's been raining. We have like threats of hurricane, apart from a couple of sunny days. I haven't really been able to be that much outside. So I sort of miss a little bit that sunshine that really not only makes my bones warmer, but my heart as well. And very interesting to because I'm going to talk a little bit about epigenetics today. The environment is very beautiful because it sets up the stage for the place where we are, and in a way nurtures or takes away the nurturing that we need in order to not only survive but thrive. So that's one of the things. The other thing is that I finally sent the final draft to the printer of my book. I had some ups and downs in the last few weeks. One of them being last week when I was about to finish it, I realized that the file in InDesign was corrupted. That means you cannot open it. And I usually do backups, but the last backup I have done was 10 days before. So that meant that I lost 10 days of work, and I've been working on it like day and night. So I was frustrated, obviously, and then I was like, "Oh well, what can I do?" I did the usual thing: is like try to walk around all the problems that I could have with the application. Was it too many fonts? Is reinstall it? The whole technical stuff I did, but I still couldn't. I could open the application, and everything, but I could not open that file. So probably got corrupted sometime, and I just disregard. I didn't pay attention to that, and that's a reminder. I'm usually good with backups and stuff like that. But anyway, so it was like a moment for me to pause. That was Saturday morning, and I was supposed to give it a last correction that I've been doing with Mari, but I couldn't. And then when I found out that the last file that I had was October the 2nd, and that day was October the 12th, I was like, holy moly. Okay. So at one point, I tried to turn everything on and off, and it wouldn't. So I just take this little portrait of my mom when she was young, and I just put her on top of the computer and say, okay, mom, you got to do this. So it ended up working in a way that it was not that I was able to open the file, but I got some ideas of how to work around. I'm not going to go through all the technical stuff, but I managed to do it. And it took me another 2 days to finish and to revise. I was in the revising mode, when you have the final draft and you have to correct every single comma or additional comments that I write, even in Spanish, like I write. I just not like the perfect writer. So I do need an editor. That's why I have wonderful Mari to do that. Because if I just send stuff the way I write them, there's no intonation at all because it's just one long paragraph with no, like the way I speak a little bit, blah, 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 blah. I don't even take a breath. But anyway, so I'm very, very grateful that I was able to finish and send it, because the most important thing is like once you press send and order the books, the first batch of the books, all on presale, and very happy because I have a gift for everybody who has bought the book beforehand in the last 6 months. So I decided this was a secret, but not a secret, like a surprise. And so I made this 5x7 limited edition of prints of my work. So you're going to have a very beautiful glossy little print that you can, put in a frame or not, or give it away, or just trash it. I don't want you to trash my work. But anyway, it's with a lot of love, and the book is going to be signed and dedicated to each one of you. I know some people put a lot of value in that. I do too, by the way. I value that I'm writing something directly to the person who trusted me, so I could give them back a labor of love. So I'm feeling, I spoke about the weather and it's very gloomy, and I have had a sense of gloom in the last few days, but I'm not strange to that feeling. Every time I do a very big piece, every time I had a very big exhibition, every time that I needed to finish something, and then I finish it, there was always this like sense of mourning thereafter. So I would call it like what was it that I used to call it, like post opening depression, something like that, like postpartum. Because in a way you're giving birth, right? You're giving birth to a project and you are invested for months, sometimes years. In my case with the book, it was close to 3 years. We started talking with Mari October 2021, yes, and she started transcribing my text around that time, and it was sometime around the summer of 2022 where we decided that maybe this could be something good for a book, and that's when I gave her the okay. We didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know. I thought, just do it. Like I do some stuff, I'm just like, I initiate, I just do it. And then funding came through the way of 2 grants from the Miami Arts, forgot the name of them, Miami Arts Center, Cultural Center, whatever. It's money from the government. So I never asked for grants, but I decided to do this, and hey, I got some money, so that's good. I was able to pay myself and pay Mari, which is really good because there were many, many, many hours of work. Having a sip of coffee here. So it's interesting. In my chart in human design, my Mars, my thing that I initiate with is in the gate 42, which is called increase, and it is found in the sacral. So it's all about having the energy to close things. It is the vital force that leads to growth. It is also the ability to bring things to a close so that a new cycle can begin. The process of accomplishing things one by one helps me realize, in retrospect, that something has grown and has been completed. The gate 42 is the finisher who sees through what was started in gate 53. That is in the root center. As long as things are unfinished, gate 42 will feel uncomfortable, as it likes to be free, always striving to close processes and be open to new cycles. This produces an energy needed to complete things. The gate's potential is increased. So I have it on line 2. So it's identifying trends, prudent recognition and use of trends. So I can see where I can put my energy and just, finish projects. So the light part of this energy is the power to recognize and successfully use trends and developments that facilitates growth. The shadow is in times of progressive change to miss trends and developments due to personal withdrawal, sleeping beauty. So this is interesting because guess who is there now? Chiron has been going around gate 42 in the last, I'd say, couple of months, probably 1 month for sure. And I'm just going to look if it's in the same gate. Right now it's 42-1. So it's a little bit, it's diversification, grown through expansion and diversification, the ability to use surplus resources for expansion and consequently for additional growth and diversification. So, and the shadow is the tendency to waste surplus resource, which leads to decadence and decline. So here's the thing. So we had a full moon yesterday. Powerful. And Chiron currently transited is on my Mars. So it's on this gate, right? 42. I finished the book this week and I kind of realized, oh my God, I'm finishing at the same time that my Mars, so Mars is about initiating, but that gate is about closing. So it's kind of like an interesting thought that I have both the ability to initiate, and also I'm a manifestor, but I also have the ability to close. So because I'm closing this cycle right now, I need to make some space to see how it feels. And this is very important because feelings are so important in our livelihood every day, all the time. If we're not aware of what we're feeling, we may be in a reaction mode, and then our lives are just a whole reaction against our triggers, against the things that make us feel pain. So I am aware this week that I want to withdraw a little bit, and I want to actually make space for understanding what I just did and celebrate it with Maria. We'll have a conversation with her later on today, and we're going to celebrate that we did this together. And for me, this is a biggie. I wrote about it in the book and how important it was for me to trust her. But rather than trusting her completely, what I did is I learn how to trust myself, trusting her and others. So that's one of my main things. And I write a little bit about it in the book, because my book is all about relational values and how I got to where I am. Now, I also want to say that yesterday was really great. I usually pick up an astrologer once or twice a year, somebody that I either have studied with, that has mentored me, and they still do readings, or somebody that I'm dying to just have a conversation with. And this was the case yesterday. So I had asked Mark Jones, the astrologer, evolutionary astrologer, and also psychologist from the UK, to do a reading for me. And it landed yesterday. That was the first day he had open. And I booked this, I think, sometime ago, like in August. Yes, he's that good. and he's been doing this for a long time. We're more or less the same age. We had such a profound conversation yesterday. And what it came clear to me is that even though I'm working on so many levels in my psyche, there's still certain things that I need to go and confront. And one of them is intimacy with another person. And I'll get more about that. I've done a very conscious decision of not being with a partner for a while, because part of my thing was that I was always very codependent. I will just completely merge with the other person and not establish my boundaries correctly, and therefore I ended up living a life that I didn't want to. So, but I'm not going to tell all the things that I talk about in the book, but anyway, this is something. But it was interesting during our conversation yesterday that this came up like many times, and so it's somewhere that I want to go deeper into it, because the transiting Pluto is still on my 12th house. It's the house of the unconscious, and I've been having it there since 2013, I believe, or even end of 2012, beginning of 2013 in Capricorn. And what has happened to me since 11 years ago has been a very profound transformation. It's not just change, it's a transformation of the way I have unveiled my fears and confronted them one by one, sometimes very, very scared. So one of the things that I've noticed this week is that when I'm in this state of gloom and the weather is not helping, then I end up going to this rabbit hole of like, oh my God, I'm so disillusioned. This is a very Piscean energy, and I have Saturn in Pisces and Neptune is in Pisces right now. They're both on my second house, which is the house of values, needs, and materiality and self-esteem. So I just end up like almost automatically, with very little effort, like in this state of like, like, oh, like I'm disillusioned, like there's no hope. And guess what? I'm one of the most hopeful person you'll ever meet. I'm always like, we can do this. So, but I also think that it's very important to allow even this feeling, because it's giving me insights on how to approach these moments where there is closure, there is mourning, there is also accomplishment, and there is also a space where I can allow myself to feel profoundly. So I will actually create a field that is very fertile in allowing new things to come, not to be afraid that I don't have another project. Of course, I have other projects coming, but sometimes that's the feeling when you finish a big project, you're like, oh, what's coming next? And one thing that I'm always paying attention is like, am I really loving what I do, or this is part of an addiction of me being a workaholic? Because we all have addictions one way or another. The other day I watched beautiful interaction between Dr. Gabor Mate, which I adore, and one of my favorite comics, and he's such a profound human being. He's healing himself so incredibly on camera. Theo Vaughn. It was such a profound conversation where two humans are actually discovering each other through questions and answers, and just gives me so much hope. So I'm going to put it underneath so you actually have a chance to listen to it. Other things that are happening and they're very present is like when we see what's going on in the world in terms of the wars and people killing each other and not really relating to one another as humans. They're just relating as gender, race, nationality, creed. And when we operate in that way, we're not really allowing that other part of ourselves that probably suppressed or depressed. So it's really questioning a lot what's going on. Like I question myself, like what's going on? What's going on? Why so much killing? Is it really about the money? Is it really about the power? Or maybe, as my teacher Saifuddin Amu says, it's probably about the degeneration. Like there's so many people who are like getting so much I don't know how to say the word, like food, like food for thought, like they're getting so much energy, that's the word I was using, by being degenerate. Like they just want to do kinky stuff, foolish stuff. They just like killing, they love killing, they love to torture people. They are operating under a false creed that they are entitled to kill other people, to torture other people, to suppress other people, to tell other people how to behave and say and even speak. Freedom of speech is at stake at this moment. We have the whole European continent completely pro or against speech, rather. And in my view, they've been for so many decades been suppressed by all this socialist agenda. Socialism teaches you that everybody has to have everything equal. But life is not like that. A bird is not equal to an elephant. They're different. And that's really what is so great about nature, is that it is because of our differences that we are powerful. It is because of our difference that we can actually work together in tandem. We don't have to behave the same. We don't have to be all the same gender and paint our hair in the same color and identify with something that we're not truly. Because if we don't understand who we are in our humanity, if we don't understand our archetypes that are actually operating unconsciously because we don't give light to them, we're just not living fully this life. We're just being victims of the other side, because there's always the other side. This is so interesting. We are electromagnetic humans, so we operate under electricity and magnetism. So we will always have a polarity at the other side, always. You cannot get away with that. So what is the scope? The scope is to be able to synthesize. Now, I said I was going to talk a little bit about epigenetics. I love Bruce Lipton. If you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes of your life, you could go to, I'm also going to put something underneath. Let him teach you a little bit about how epigenetics work and how this biology of feelings are actually influencing our environment. So we behave in a certain degree or a certain way. So if you're always surrounded by hatred and you're always surrounded by ugliness, well, you end up doing that because that's your language, right? But you also, if you're surrounded by healthy stuff and you eat well, and you sleep well, and you do the right thing, not what I say is right, what you think is right for you, or you feel that is right for you, and you create a stage where you can actually live in a very fertile environment where you're going to be able to overcome even the most difficult challenges, because at the very end, challenges is really what make us evolve. And we're all there. We have Pluto on the gate 60 still, and it's 64 right now, line 4. So we have the resources to tap into the full potential, but it is up to each one of us, because this is a mutation channel and this is individual. If you cannot find a way you can transform this mutation, this pulse that we have is a live pulse that gives you the possibility and the resources to move within the limitations and still maximize the potential. There's a shadow to that. The limitations are seen and brought into question without knowing their value, which leads to retreat and depression. So if you, for instance, this is very important right now because I'm talking about many things at the same time. That's the way my brain works, unfortunately for many, and fortunately for me. Like everything. Well, Monica, don't get distracted. Okay. So the limitations are these things that are not happening, these challenges. You go, oh, damn. So if you are tapping into your own resourcefulness, your own like genius, you can always move the energy into trying to innovate. So that's when mutation occurs, when you actually have to try because there's a challenge in your path and you have to try another way. This is where we are right now in society. We want to keep the old ways still the same, and that's not going to happen. We already see this not happening. And let me just remind you one thing. Neither candidate is going to save your life. I tend to like one more than the other. His genius is in his sense of humor. And one thing that I've been saying lately, and parenthesis, I still don't know if I'm going to vote. I'm still going to find out in the next few weeks if this is really something I would like to do and break myself into being a voter, because I've never voted in my life. No shame with that. I just feel that what he's here is he creates a lot of chaos, but with this chaos, there's a lot of individual flame of having courage. I do feel that Donald Trump is a very courageous person. He is against the world and he's still standing up and showing up. You might dislike all of what he says, how he dresses up, his hair, where I don't care. But he is really representing this like individual person that wants to speak up and wants to be seen. Now, whether he's going to be the best or the worst for the world, we don't know, because these decisions are not made by one person. Every single person has to find some courage to be authentic. And instead of sitting down and arguing about who's better or worse, I think that we're wasting so much time, because it is up to each one of us to actually confront all this shadow work. Shadow. So let me see what else I see. And we have a very nice channel happening right now in the collective. We have the 1762. So we have a lot of opinions right now. But we can be very precise about how critical we can be. And you know what? Opinions are not good when you actually have a very good solution about them. When you see something that is not working, but you have a critical eye, and at the same time you have a response to what is needed, that is amazing, because there is discovery in it. You can discover valuable information and you can create innovative applications because you have the capacity to do detailed work. This is a pattern logical channel, the 1762. I'm talking about human design. We have the energy there because we have one of the nodes, the north node, and we have Mars there. So this is a good energy. So the gift is on finding unusual information in detailed work and to express and use it in a way that is innovative. So it's creating new knowledge. Now, the shadow part of it is that if you stay with the monotony of the detail work, you actually lose the valuable information that can arise from this. Let's see, the 17, it's understanding. So the experience is to follow the road of the success. So the mental potential to develop opinions and concepts in detail in order to make them verifiable and supportable. So in a way, you see things that are not working these days, and instead of jumping into conclusions, make sure that you verify and you are very caring about the value that this precision can give you, so you can actually bring some tremendous information for the collective, because at the very end, all logical channels are geared towards the collective. I'm gonna look for this 1 second. So read it. So this is a channel called the Organizer. It's the channel of conception. It is establishing precise and foresighted concepts that show the logical way into the future. Because the logic is all about the future. It's about knowing what doesn't work. So it's endowed with this kind of specialization. This is information that is needed before anybody can speak. So opinions, voice, things that they have to be backed by facts and details. So opinions are logical, but this is very interesting. I have my thing about opinions because I think the world is giving more opinions that they need to, and they're not really embodying knowledge. So I think that opinions are very, very important in time of crisis because they actually open up the possibility for people to create new innovative ways of addressing the pattern. But if we stay in the opinions and we do not experience or speak from experience, we are not giving the most intuitive part of ourselves a chance to actually bring forth that experience and that wisdom that can emanate from living and having lived and gone through something. Let's see. Oh my God, 25 minutes. I think I have enough of the day. I don't know what else I was going to talk about. I think I wanted to say that I finished the book, and I'm very grateful for that. I wanted to say that times are tough and rough, but I also wanted to say that the light that you are looking for is inside of yourself. And if you can create more little rituals, whether it's humming, meditation, exercise, yoga, whatever, to get in touch with your body and get in touch with what you need. Because right now, I said this before, with Mars in Cancer, it's all about understanding what is our emotional body in terms of needs. So try to find a balance with that. Is very good. It's very good. Jupiter is in 45.5. This is on my Venus right now. So this is a gate of leadership. So if you want to lead a life that is expansive and that is full of possibilities, Gemini, I will ask you to go to Saturn, that is on gate 63, and try to ask questions that are logical to see what are the principles that you need in order to make things happen. So there is a period right now of gestation until June 2025, where anybody who wants to really make things happen in a very grand way, not only use your imagination to actually see yourself over there, but also come back and make a plan. Make a plan of what is it that you need. Like make like a blueprint. Like if you were an architect or an engineer that you wanted to build a very big structure that you wanted to stand and be solid. So I'll let you be right now, and thank you for listening.